after the war had ended. Rothschild's American agents had been in a constant struggle with the United States government to steal control over the money supply of the American people, ever since America's inception. These conspirators managed to accomplish this in a permanent sense in the year 1913, when the Federal Reserve Act was passed, while most of Congress was gone on Christmas break. They then set about illegally passing the 16th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, without the required 3/4 of states ratifying it, so that they could illegally tax Americans through the IRS, also stealing their wages, which the illegitimate 16th Amendment does not even describe as being taxable anyways. One of Rothschild's American agents was the political handler of U.S. President Woodrow Wilson, and his name was Colonel Edward Mandell House. Colonel House had a discussion with the British Foreign Secretary regarding what would prompt the U.S. to join World War I on the side of Britain, and House stated that if the Germans sank an ocean liner carrying many American citizens, then that would be sufficient. The British luxury liner, Lusitania, was sunk soon thereafter by a German U-boat, and it had many Americans on board. The Lusitania was a prime military target because it was carrying 6 million rounds of ammunition, supplied by Rothschild's American agent, J.P. Morgan. This helped push America into joining World War I in 1917, and then the British government also gave British Lord Walter Rothschild approval for a Jewish homeland in Palestine, in a document known as the Balfour Declaration. Rothschild's American agent Jacob Schiff financed Russian revolutionaries Leon Trotsky and Vladimir Lenin. The Bolshevik Revolution ensued in 1917, and communism was created. Lenin became the dictator of the Soviet Union, and when he died in 1924, then Leon Trotsky engaged Joseph Stalin in a power struggle over who would succeed him. Trotsky was a proponent of global socialist revolution, while Stalin was interested in a national Soviet empire. Joseph Stalin won the power struggle, and temporarily stifled the Zionists. An American named Irving Kristol would become an avid follower of Leon Trotsky, and Irving Kristol is the father of modern-day American neoconservatism. Rothschild's American agents created a group called the Council on Foreign Relations in 1921, for the purpose of spreading U.S. imperialism and socialist propaganda. The CFR is the sister organization of a British group called the Royal Institute of International Affairs, which had evolved from a group that Rothschild's British associates had created in 1902, for the purpose of spreading British imperialism and socialist propaganda. Many of the most powerful people in America attend the CFR, and work together to create a new world order. The 12 private U.S. Federal Reserve banks engineered a collapse of the New York Stock Exchange in the year 1929, and the ensuing worldwide economic depression also. The masses lost most of their wealth, which was then transferred to the super-rich. In 1932, the royal dictatorship of Saudi Arabia was created, by the support of the British Empire. Extremist Islam, Wahhabi, was given control of the two most holy cities in all of Islam, Mecca and Medina, which promoted strife within Islam, and also the eventual clash of civilizations. The Saudi royal family has always maintained very close ties with the British Empire. In 1933, Hitler was appointed the Chancellor of Germany, and a communist set the German parliament building, Reichstag, on fire. Hitler blamed a greater communist Zionist conspiracy, and declared a national state of emergency, thus soon achieving complete dictatorial power over Germany. An SA officer by the name of Adolf Roll came forward and stated that Nazi commandos assisted in the arson, and Hitler's SS and Gestapo later murdered Adolf Rahl. The Nazi Party had originally evolved from a German occult fraternity known as the Thule Society, and the Nazi Party also received support from an American occult fraternity known as Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones is a Yale University fraternity that was founded in 1832 by international opium smuggling dynasties. Every year, 15 sons of the most powerful Eastern establishment families are picked to join this occult order, whose purpose is to rule America, while it perpetually revolves around international drug smuggling and intelligence communities. George W. Bush's grandfather, Prescott Bush, was a Jesuit-trained Skull and Bones member, and was involved in a 1933 plot to overthrow the United States government and install a Nazi-style dictatorship. Prescott Bush also helped finance a company called IG Farben during World War II, and IG Farben was the industrial giant at the heart of the Nazi war machine. IG Farben was in business with John D. Rockefeller Jr., and John D. Rockefeller Jr. was an American Rothschild agent. Allied bombers avoided bombing IG Farben buildings, and they only sustained 15% damage total throughout World War II. John D. Rockefeller Jr. had also worked very closely with the government of Britain to alter American public opinion in order for America to join World War II. United States President Franklin D. Roosevelt worked with these warmongers, and blockaded Japan in order to provoke an attack. He placed warships in a position that was known to be vulnerable, and covered up Japan's warning that it would attack Pearl Harbor. Rothschild's network of international bankers financed both sides of World War II, and made astronomical profits, while tens of millions of people died. Zionists also used their diplomatic powers to make sure that the Nazis murdered millions of innocent Jewish people, because that gave the Zionists an effective political platform to create the State of Israel. The creation of Israel solidified the power of the Zionists, and was also necessary for the Illuminati, because the Jesuits are following the ancient Judeo-Christian Roman prophecy of Revelation. For Armageddon to occur as planned, then Israel must first exist, before it can finally be destroyed. This is when the Antichrist is expected to rule the world under Lucifer, from his throne in the city of Jerusalem.